Hey everyone, Michelle back with another spooky Reddit read. This one is titled Strange Experiences Growing Up in the Netherlands. It's from a subreddit post about 9 years ago, so this one's been around for a little bit, but I thought it was kind of cool. This poster writes, I am very new with Reddit, and now that I'm familiar with it, I have the courage to post this. This is going to be a long post. Just to be clear, I don't seek help. It's just a collection of stories that happen throughout my life. Most of the stories came while I was growing up on a very old farm, and I want to mention we never felt unwanted or unwelcome or anything like that. When it happened on the farm, it was weird, sometimes scary when it happened, but afterwards, most of the time, it was okay. Most of the time. I will give you a little bit of backstory so that you guys have a better idea of how it works around here. I live in the Netherlands, in a village really close to the German border, about 3 kilometers or 1.9 miles away. My family is really big, and most of them from my dad's side are all farmers or butchers. We grew up on farms as well, even when my dad had his own butcher shop. The farm that my dad owned had been in my family for almost 160 years, and it had a lot of bad things happen in its long past. Like in the 1920s, 2 people who worked as helpers on the farm got in a fight and one unalived the other guy. We have to start of a really big bog on our property. Throughout living there, the family members, as far as I know, all children drowned there in the early 1900s. During World War II, my family helped a lot of people throughout that same bog because it's really dangerous, and if you don't know your way, a lot of German soldiers as well as normal Dutch people drowned there. The Germans found out we were helping them and executed my granddad's dad and a couple of brothers to make an example. A lot of stable fires through its times, and yet you could not explain, etc. So like I said, a lot of things. I'm going to tell the stories in chronological order. Story number 1. When me and one of my sisters were younger, and at the time of year, my dad had next to the house a big field with Christmas trees for selling. So it was, for a 6-year-old me, the perfect hiding place for hide and seek because it's a maze of trees. My older cousin, 17 at the time, was searching for us, and me and my sister were trying to hide, so we naturally went in the field with the Christmas trees. After what for a small child is an eternity, we gave up, and we went to look for my cousin. Me and my sister thought we saw him through the window in one of the very old stables looking at us. So me and my sister run towards the stable, only to entrance and exit signs in our sights all the time when we run towards it. Surprisingly, there was nobody there. At the moment, our cousin came from behind the main house that was behind us, so he could never have been there. And at the time, we were only 3 on the farm because he was babysitting us. We asked him if he was just in the stable. He said no. So yeah, weird. Sorry guys, some of the writing on this one's a little odd, so it's coming out a little stumbly. I apologize. Story number 2. I was 8 at the time and already had 6 brothers and sisters, me being the oldest. So we had to room up. Me, my sister below me, and the brother below my sister had to room up in the attic. Throughout growing up there, we always felt like when we were trying to sleep that our toes were being pinched. At first, we always thought it was one of us just goofing around. It was not. When I was younger, I had sleep paralysis a lot, and at that time, of course, I did not know what it was, only that it was scary, and I realized later what it was because it happened always in the same scary Sesame Street dream that I had. I had that dream so many times while growing up that when I had the dream, I realized I was in the dream and somehow woke myself up but was sleep paralyzed. Why am I telling this? Because one of those times it was different. I did not have that dream. I just woke up in a really awkward, turned around backwards, painfully way. A feeling of very cold hands smushing my head in my pillow. It was very hard to breathe. Luckily for me, my sister woke up to go to the bathroom, and when she hit the lights, she screamed because I was lying so weird. My sister and brother run to my dad. When my dad came up, whatever it was, the moment the door opened, I could move. And I know people in the comments section are gonna say it was still sleep paralysis, but I know the difference. This was way different, like the cold hand, which I have never felt before. Like it started out with that scary Sesame Street dream, what it normally always does, but That's what I think. Story number 3. This happened when I was 11. It was snowing very hard the night before. I was helping my dad around the farm. Nobody went to the old stables, but there was a track of footprints going out of the stables. No track at all going towards the stables, only out. Nobody went near the stables at that time because, like I said, you would have seen it in the snow. And it was snowing heavily the night before. And my dad and mom found this so weird that my dad went to follow the tracks with me because the tracks were leading over a field towards the bog. I was very excited because me and my brothers and sisters are forbidden to go in there because it's really dangerous. We disobeyed my dad once and went in there, and my sister got stuck. She was chest deep in it and was holding her so she would not go deeper. My brother ran to my dad. Everything was okay, but we got such a whooping that we had left a big impression on our young minds that nobody was even thinking of crossing that old man again and going near that swamp for the fear of his wrath. We followed it deep into the bog, and it led towards frozen water, like just frozen enough to maybe hold a small animal, definitely not a grown man or even a toddler. I don't know if spirits can leave tracks, but we don't know what it was. If there was a track towards the old stables, a track out, it would have made sense, but it did not. And my dad seemed pretty spooked by this. Story number 4. I was 13 and we were playing Mario Kart 64 and Nintendo 64. My dad and my mom went to my dad's weekly game of billiards and his friends in the pub. We were old enough that we did not need a babysitter. Me and my sister below me were the babysitters. There was only one rule: never open the front door or the back door for anyone, even when they are knocking. Even if it is somebody you know, you just don't open it. Just talk through the mailbox in the door. And when there was a problem, we had the phone number of the pub. This was before mobile phones were big. We were playing with 4 controllers and we switched regularly, so everybody was playing and everybody was in the living room was focused on so hard on the TV screen. It was like watching the World Cup football soccer finals. I was on a very epic losing streak, and in the corner of my eyes I saw a big black thing move from left to right through the kitchen. I was so focused on getting at least one victory to get my brothers off my back, I did not look, only at the screen. When my sister said, "Who else saw that black thing in the kitchen?" From the 8 children there, 5 saw it, including me. Little me did not want to call Dad and mess up and lose my babysitting privileges, because it's awesome when you got the house parent free as a 13-year-old snotling. So me and my brother sucked it up, got up, and searched everything under the beds and the closets, bathrooms, everything. But we found nothing. The windows were still shut, so we waited until Dad came home, and he was angry that we were not in bed, so we told him what happened. He said nothing much and put us to bed. This was a very scary night trying to sleep, and most important, I did not lose my babysitting privileges. Okay, guys, I hate to do this to you, but this one has to be a part 2 coming up in a second, just because it's a really long one. So I'm gonna call this part 1, and then we're gonna try to get part 2 up soon, depending on how long it takes for this to upload. Thanks for listening. Please hit the buttons on the repost. Thank you.